So let's fast forward a little bit. And, obviously you had a lot of success in boxing, but then you kind of mentioned earlier that, you started to lose that passion and had to figure out, where did you want to go next? What was the next chapter in your life? And that's where you started working to support your family and everything. And from there, transition us into, we heard the story of how you met Andy Bumatai and everything, but transition us to how the comedy became full-blown mainstream.
We never have social media back then. We had word of mouth, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot harder. But when you live in an island, amazing things happen, right? So I was under a different management. I got asked to do comedy down in Laie. So everybody already had opened up for like Andy and, I was doing stuff, but nobody knew who I was, but I went to Laie and I did comedy at Laie. And because I grew up around a lot of Polynesians, they wasn't used to hearing a Filipino Portuguese guy do Samoan jokes.
Okay.
And that, I thank the people of Laie for just spreading that wave. It went from Laie to Kaneohe to Kali to Waipau, and then boom, it just within weeks, people were like, who's this guy? And I started getting calls, for do shows. And then my manager was there. I was managed by the same manager as Kapena during Kapena's height. I mean, these guys were going to Samoa, Tonga, South Pacific, and thousands of people. So I was there that same night with Kapena, and the manager of Kapena came up to me and goes, dude, what I saw was amazing. I'm going to take you on an exploratory 1-year management. I'm going to have you open for Willie K. Yeah. Kapena, only like you do 10 minutes, right? And then, dude, very rarely do I did like open mics. I was already, 10 minutes opening up for Kapena, in Tahiti, 30,000 people. We'd go Guam, 7,000 people. People were like, who's this guy? Who's this? And I'm doing the Samoan Santa Claus. I'm talking about Samoan guys falling through, the elevator shaft. I'm talking about, Mahu's beating me up. I never talked about my son yet, but I talked about how Mahu's used to beat me up. I talked about taking a dump in my pants. And what happened was every time I went to some place in the South Pacific I would pick up on stuff that was happening then. I would make comedy about that, right? And man, working with Ken Thompson, Kapena, Willie K, and we had these guys were like selling out Waikiki weekly, gigging, it got me the doors opened. And then Andy introduced me to Lanai. Even Lanai was like, who's this guy? He never thought that I was funny. I knew I was like, I know I'm funny, right? He never thought. And then he invited me to come up to his show. And mind you, radio wasn't ready for a guy that spoke pidgin. And I wanted to be me. I never wanted to be anybody else. I never wanted to be, I only for hit music station. I never like be the guy. I wanted to be, Augie, because doing radio wasn't my thing. I wanted to do stand-up comedy. I had this character that I was. I was Augie, the guy from the housing, the guy that's happy, the guy that told stories, and I don't know if they was ready for that. I don't know if people was ready for somebody to talk pidgin 20-something years ago on radio and, like full on the way I did it.
Yeah. I mean, even when you were doing Lanai and Augie, I mean, the show was hilarious, all of these things, you like exploded, right? With doing all of these opening acts, starting to get shows, the radio, TV eventually.